Hey guys, my name's Matt, and today I wanted to show you guys the first devlog for this game. It is a untitled project, still in the early stages of development, but it's a PvP arena shooter, and is in probably about its second month in development. It's being developed by me and a designer who goes by the name of Dan, or the Blueprint. I'm sure you'll be able to find him in the description. And we've been just kicking butt recently, and we thought it was about time we start sharing some of our progress. So today I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of what some of the vision of this project is and how we've been achieving what we're doing so far. So first thing you might notice is that we have an active skybox. Enviro has been an incredible tool, and Dan has been going to town with a lot of these effects. Now, most of these effects are completely overdone. They're way too fast. They're way too bright. Some of them get completely washed out. So what you're seeing here is nowhere near a final product, but it is representative of what we're trying to achieve at some point. Now you'll probably see this in a minute. It's going to get too yellow. Oh, actually, this one's not too bad. Good to know. But, anyways, so we're trying to make a PvP game, and we have about 25 weeks left on our deadline. It is something that we're trying to finish up before we start our senior year capstone. Now, we're both in a game development program at New England Tech. We're both juniors, and we're about to hit our senior year. Now, during our senior year, we have to make a game within 20 weeks. And once that comes around, we want to, be fair to all of our other teammates and actually, focus all our energy on that. So this project will be shelved at that point. So, got to get something out the door and published, or produced, I should say. We're not really looking for anything publishing, but nonetheless, we want to get something that looks like a finished product sooner rather than later. So with a PvP, you can basically imagine this game as like knockoff Destiny or knockoff Halo. That's a lot of the inspiration we're really, getting from our design elements. And the idea is just really to make something that feels good. It's not right now. It's not about being overly unique, overly competitive, overly like the next big thing. That's not really reasonable goals for us, and we would much rather have some sort of portfolio piece that really stands out, that shows that we know what we're doing, and that we just can make a game, and we can do it on a very good level. So with two of us in this project, I think it's a great scope to just have multiplayer, 2v2s, 4v4, something like that, with an arena map, three or so guns, maybe some special abilities if we can sneak them into the timeline here, and really just develop it as much as possible. Now, right now we are on track for getting our first real multiplayer test for the game by the end of this month. We'll see if that happens. It's been a rough semester so far, but we're hoping by our next game developers meeting that we have with IGDA, that we'll be able to show off to some of our peers. And I'm sure at that point I'll make sure to screen record and just show some of the fun little highlights that we can get from that. Now, more into the technical stuff of this game. We're using Mirror as our networking solution. We're using Unity, if that's not already obvious, and Smooth Sync that complements Mirror. So if anyone doesn't know, Mirror is basically just a built off of UNet, and UNet was Unity's original solution to multiplayer before they dropped it. Mirror now is mostly open source, and it's been fantastic for what we want it to be. It has done just about everything we could ask it for, especially with this kind of scope. And SmoothSync basically just irons out all the nasty little jitters that just come with any networked game. You know, we as gamers tend to really uh, we don't give enough credit, I would say, to the games like Call of Duty or Battlefield for really just how smooth they pull off multiplayer. It's incredibly impressive how well defined and how tuned it is, and now that I've kind of starting to get my hand in it a little bit, I just can't say enough good stuff about their networked multiplayer. It is just a nightmare to get working properly, to feel good, to get collisions where you shoot them. So I don't know. We're doing our best, and SmoothSync has definitely pushed us in the right direction. So if you're ever making a multiplayer game in in Unity, take a look at SmoothSync. It's like $20, $25 or something like that, and it will just make everything so much nicer for you guys. And all you have to do is just basically drag a component onto your player. It's that simple. Um, but also complementing some of our other features, we're using Cinemachine. Now, Cinemachine is free, but it is a great tool for any amount of camera work that you need to do, and it has been when we were still building this game as a third person uh, solution, really, it was just like almost necessary. Now, obviously, you can program out your own camera rotation and camera collision and camera shake and scene transition and camera transition, but Cinemachine just does all of that for you with just like multiple clicks of a button, and it leaves you more time for game development instead of programming the systems to make the game even function to be just like it's just so nice. It's I can't put it enough. Like if you're making a game in Unity, guys, just use Cinemachine. There's really very little amount of legwork needs to be used, and like a Brackeys tutorial, 15 minutes, and the next thing you know, you have a camera working, and you know how to make more of them. I don't really see any reason not to use Cinemachine. It's a free package. Just use it. You won't regret it. Now, with that being said, the character controller was something that was a little bit debated when we were first working on it. Now, I was of the mind that I wanted to make the majority of stuff myself. I wanted to prove that I was a competent game programmer, and I came up with some good solutions, at least what I think were some good solutions, but they always had a few little bugs that just felt wrong. They like when you were playing it and you would collide with something, like especially like these rails, like it would snap you to the ground, or like you would fast fall. And yes, I could program out of most of the situations, but it was becoming very clunky and not very modular. So a friend of ours, his name's Neil, and he has a devlog out on YouTube. You should guys look it up. It's called Shrine Wars. Now, he's an awesome developer. He's based out of Seattle, and it has been a cool little project that he's working on. It's in its early stages now, but keep an eye on that. I think it'll be a great little indie game, and it'll surprise a lot of you. But either way, when Dan and I were talking with Neil, he recommended us a character controller solution called Kinematic Character Controller. It's a little expensive, but after a little bit of research, we said, all right, let's give it a shot. And it just handles so much for us. Now, mind you, it's a low-level component, and if you don't have a lot of programming skills, this is not the kind of thing I'd recommend adding in. It's not just a drag-and-drop solution kind of like SmoothSync was. Instead, it's more of a low-level solution to deal with things like moving platforms and keeping velocities held over, dealing with complex collision environments like narrowed hallways, how to deal with let's say like the Super Mario Galaxy, and they have those circular gravitational fields. Instead of just pulling you to the ground, it deals with that as well. Although to be fair, that's not that hard to achieve. But the point is that it deals with a lot of nasty little bugs and hiccups that just naturally come with the baseline character or rigid body character controllers inside of Unity. Um, do I recommend it? It depends on your project. I have been impressed with it so far. It's taken me a little over a week or so to really wrap my brain about how to use it, what to use it for, and how to leverage it. And it only gets a and it when you're using it for multiplayer, you got to do some kind of under the hood tricks to make it work the way you want it to. So I don't know. Was it worth the money? I think maybe. I don't really have a better answer than that. Unfortunately, it was. It does everything that it promises, but it definitely has a learning curve to it, and not. It's not something that's just going to work out right out of the box. So I don't know. Look it up if anyone's ever interested in it. It's the kinematic character controller, but getting that to work with our Cinemachine, getting that to work with Mirror, was challenging to say the least. Oh man, many nights was I up till 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning, just doing my best to get it done before I had school the next day. And God, I I don't sleep anymore. But, anyways, so as of now, we have two other or three other implementations, which were Enviro, which I was mentioning earlier, and the other one was Vegetation Studio. And my designer Dan loves all of this foliage. Loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it. He basically just plays things like Fortnite, things like oh, what's the other battle royale that came out? I cannot remember. I think it's I can't remember the name of it now. But it's a lot of those battle royale games that have large open areas, and so he's been practicing with it, and it leads to a lot of areas with foliage, and I think it's one of his strengths. This is a great looking environment. But on the network, or not even on the network, just in game, it's a lot of processing power. Now you can actually see that light green over there, and that's just some render issues that we have. But with that being said, it's Vegetation Studio is supposed to help us chunk a lot of what it makes these environment pieces so taxing. And I would hope that we get some frames in return. Right now, I'm running a 2060 Super in my computer, and I'm getting about 200 frames, which is awesome. But on my laptop that's a little bit older, running like something a little more moderate, like a 1060, it's getting closer to 100 frames, 90 frames. And that, for just a prototype build is a little concerning. But we'll see how that goes. Now, that visual error, the LOD error I was showing you guys before, is way more dramatic, as you can see. Dan is very confident he'll be able to fix that at some point soon, but it's not really worth our time to worry about LODs before we really get the base implementation working. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Now, if anyone ever has any questions about how we achieve something, please be free, reach out to us. I'll put my Discord information in some of the description below, and basically just I want to make this a community where we can talk about game dev and learn from each other, communicate with each other. It's been a wild ride so far, and I'd say that this has been one of the most welcoming communities I've seen. I know I've been in a bunch of different game dev subreddits and discords, and just the amount of help that people are willing to give to each other is amazing. So I want to do the same. Like I said, if anyone has any questions, they want to help our project even, or they want help on their own projects, please reach out, and we'll see what we can do. It's been you know it's been such a fun time just learning from other people like Neil, how they've been using their networking solutions, how they've been, achieving some of the effects in game. And it's just motivating to talk to people that are building their dreams, right? Like this is something that, this isn't necessarily my dream game, but to be honest, it's something I've been pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into. So I I want to show it off to people. I want everyone to be impressed. I want to stand out and prove to everyone that I belong as a part of this community. So uh, I hope you guys enjoyed the brief rundown. It's a little long-winded at the moment, but future devlogs will hopefully just be able to show more isolated points of the game, where we're going with it, how we plan to take it in the future, and more specifically, just showcase the bugs that we fixed and the new ones that we put in. The best one we got so far is this camera that doesn't exactly work, but hopefully at some point soon we'll get that working. And once again, guys, I'll talk to you later.